नमन कब तक आएंगे वो बोल रहे
Right?
हैं
नमन अभी वो शायद इसका
Hey
एक दो हफ्ते
everyone,
कहीं घूमने
I
जाने का प्लान
welcome
था.
to the first launch event of ScalerVerse. So as you all know, this is ScalerVerse HSR. This is the first property of ScalerVerse. We'll let you. So this event basically we'll talk about what community development in education is, why community is very important in education, why ScalerVerse, what is ScalerVerse, what are the future plans of ScalerVerse. I'll obviously call a couple of guest speakers in. We'll get to introduce all of you here. So. First of all, so sorry that we got delayed by 20 minutes. There's some tech issues. So without making you people wait for a longer duration, I'll call in our chief guest.
Oh,
Abhimanyu.
chief guest, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, do I sit here?
Yes, please, Abhimanyu.
Okay, perfect. How many of you know me? Okay, I'll still give a quick introduction. So my name is Abhimanyu. I have been a programmer, I believe almost like all of you for close to 14 years now. And I'm also one of the co-founders at Scaler and InterviewBit. So today, let me, given this is the ScalerVerse launch party. So let me first talk about what is ScalerVerse? Why are we building it, right? One thing, I think it's very easy to often say that, particularly when you are trying to fix things in education, it's very easy to be dismissive that, colleges are bad, universities are bad, and we'll change it all. But I think that's lazy. There are good parts and there are bad parts. And, it's also important that in disruption as well, you make sure that the essential parts which are necessary for actual learning outcome are retained. If I ask you all, what was a part about the college that you felt was really good? I'm sure everyone have been to college, right? What was the part about your college that was good? Friends, campus, meeting people, having fun. And that's not just to have fun, actually. There is objective value to it, right? If you look at, let's say, someone who has just finished school versus someone who has been through college, we might argue that, in like whatever degree we might have done, it might not be very highly relevant. The coursework, semester exams, etc., might not be relevant to what work we do. But the life skills that we learn, how do we interact with people? What are the social behaviors that are good versus bad? If you act bad in college, you will not have friends. If you be nice to people, you will have a supportive friend group around you. We make friends for life, right? Often we end up, like, if I take my own example, me and Anshuman ended up building this company together because we were in college together. If I was just sitting at home and maybe, just attending live classes, not making friends, not making that network, probably Scaler and InterviewBit wouldn't have existed. Right? Now, ScalerVerse are, kind of, I wouldn't call it an experiment. I'm sure it's going to work. But is the step to build that as well. Actually, I was just looking at some interesting data, and just like all of you, all the techies love digging into data, right? That what is working, what is not working. I was looking at that people who have already moved into ScalerVerse, can I find some correlation in their higher adherence to the program? Although it's too early, right? People, like, how many of you have moved in here? Like, okay, quite a few. And I was trying to see that is this leading to higher adherence to the program? And higher adherence has two verticals. One is just the input, that I attend the class, I do the assignments. And second is also that, can we see some correlation that people here are able to solve more problems, or they are overall solving more problems? Even in just last 20 days, I can see that. It's just 20 days. But just being at a place together creates so much extra value. And we cannot take that away. Like there might be people might call there is metaverse, people will, put a VR headset. Great, but to be very candid, despite being a hardcore programmer, the tech is far from being able to, simulate this in-person experience. Sitting next to each other, having a chit chat, having a high five, and, like just making friends. No, tech cannot replace that yet. Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, maybe it might or it might not. But I would say that, having that physical community, people around you makes a massive difference. And that is what ScalerVerse is going to do. One more thing that, when we try to build any new concept, any new project, we always keep in mind that can it scale? And that's not even the name Scaler, right? That make education scale. It would have been, I wouldn't say it's easy, but probably relatively easier to, let's say that I will have 500 people in a year and I will try to make them great engineers. That's probably what IIT Bombay does, right? Very selective, take very few in a year, make them great engineers. But as we know, that's not adequate. The world needs 50 million great engineers, right? And can we figure out to do that? Everyone who wants to become a great engineer should be able to. It should not be that selective word that Harvard is going to take 500 people and Stanford is going to take another 500. What about the rest of the world? So ScalerVerse, we have designed it in a way that it can also scale massively. So instead of, let's say, saying that let's take 50-acre campus, 100-acre campus and make it a, like a campus, why not just build ScalerVerse where people already are? Getting a building like this, although not easy, but is more scalable. We can get 50 such building across India, or maybe 500 such building across the world. And people just can be wherever they are. And they still can be surrounded by people who are just like them. People who have the same goal. And people who are working hard to achieve that goal as well. Right? And like all the 15 days of data, very statistically insignificant data for like in context of people who are into data science. But I think it's a great indicator that it's going to work. The goal for Rohan here is kind of, the one-man army or the bodybuilder behind ScalerVerse. So Rohan has set a massive target to, have 5,000 people living in ScalerVerse by next year. That might mean 100 such buildings. Might mean that there might be maybe 5 or 10 ScalerVerse just in Bangalore. But I think we are going to do that. And you all, I think, as the torchbearer or the early adopters, I think you all going to play a massive role in making it in the right way. I think, like one more thing maybe I'll talk about, we had been brainstorming a lot about what is the right way to manage, plan, take decisions for ScalerVerse. And what we believe is that the right way to do that is let you all build it. Let you all decide that what works here, what doesn't work here, how resources should be utilized in the right way for this, right? So what we are going to do is that we are going to be setting up I don't know what we should call it, but more of a community from you all. Those who have moved in here, if some of you might remember that while you all joined the waitlist for ScalerVerse, you had paid 500 rupees to join the waitlist, right? What we are going to do that is that let's say there might be some 50, 70 people who will be moving into this building. That means we already have an amount of 30 to 35,000, 30, 40,000 rupees with us. We'll create that as a corpus fund, which will be in your hands. You can decide how to use it. You might say, I'm going to get a bunch of nice video games with that, or a bunch of nice books with that. Or maybe we want to buy a barbecue grill and put it on the top floor. Whatever you want, you can do it with that. Maybe it could be democratically elected. There could be discussions. We'll figure out how to do that. Or you might say that let's say let's figure out some mechanism to pool in certain amounts to do more things. Again, you guys probably will be the best suited to decide what works best. So again, we will be sharing more details about that, how to set that up, and collectively we'll build that out. So that is about ScalerVerse. I'm sure we'll learn many more things together. So yeah, questions or feedback? Yeah, sure, perfect. Sounds good. Oh, मेरी जगह वही है. Okay, so I'll be here.
I think I have a video. I don't know whether you people would have seen this or not. So before we take this further, there's just a small video for all of you. I am pretty sure you people are all aware, but still, let's play this.
Hello, my name is Anshuman. I am one of the co-founders at Scaler Academy in InterviewPit. I founded InterviewPit about 7 years back, Scaler Academy about 2 years back. And I often get questioned on what Scaler Academy is and why we're doing what we're doing. How are we different from the other edtech companies out there? And today I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about our journey and our story and what our vision is, why we do what we do. My own personal background is that I graduated from a college in India called IIT Hyderabad in 2010. I was very lucky to have worked directly with Mark Zuckerberg. I got to see a lot of scaling challenges. I was part of the team that was building Facebook messages in chat. I got to lead the Facebook Messenger team. And I also got to set up the first engineering office for Facebook outside of the US, which was the Facebook London office, where we got to hire about 100 odd people. While that journey was very rewarding, very comfortable as well, what used to actually concern me was that my own brother was also an engineer. He was studying in a tier 3 college in India back then. And I was very disappointed with the quality of education in India by just looking at what he was studying. And there was a feeling of guilt. There was a feeling of concern that this is happening to the masters in India and needs to be fixed. And therefore, me and Abhimanyu, who was also one of the batchmates from college and was then working at one of the unicorns then called Fab.com, we got to discussing and we finally decided to take the leap of faith, leave our respective jobs, come back to India and start something which will help solve this problem. So in the end of 2014, we started what is today known as InterviewBit, where our theory was that the solution to this could be a self-learning free platform where people get access to the highest quality of content which is gamified, and then they could figure out stuff on their own. In the last 4 or 5 years, what we've realized is that while InterviewBit is a very useful product, it is very useful for the top 1% crowd. And both me and Abhimanyu, we left our jobs to help the majority. And then therefore, we started thinking again on what else could we do which would be better. In the process, one of the things that had happened was that in 2018, a lot of high-paying companies drove their entire campus hiring to us, including companies like Uber. And we got to talking to about 100 odd students from tier 3 colleges that ended up finding a job in these companies. All of these students, by the way, when we talked to them, we realized they were very hardworking, very self-motivated. But one surprise that came out of those conversations was that 98 out of those 100 students had an elder sibling or an elder cousin or a close senior who was already working at a great company and was guiding them. That was a major revelation. We realized that the persona of a guru who can set the right direction is important for anybody to succeed. So we then started thinking about what is the next product that helps solve education for the masses and not only for the top 1%. And that's when we came up with what we today known as Scaler Academy, which is our attempt to create online Stanford. We started looking at what component does Stanford have. Stanford has the best people teaching. It has a very defined path and curriculum. It has very qualified seniors who help solve doubts and provide a support ecosystem. And it has the best of peers that help me move forward. Combine Stanford with the guru-based learning, and you have what we today call as Scaler Academy. Our belief is that if you do learning the right way, if you enable people to do learning the right way, then magic will happen. Now, I can spend hours talking about what went into Scaler Academy, but let me talk about what extensively from Scaler Academy. But all of that is result of learning happening in the right way. I have seen people make ripples and waves. I was very recently talking to the CTO of one of the leading edtech companies, and there's the story of this kid who came from a very small town in Bengal, was working at one of the service companies, has gone and now joined that edtech company and got promoted in the first 3 months and is doing really rock star kind of work at this tech company, building it out right from the ground. I also came across this kid from a very small city in Bihar who moved to Delhi with his uncle and self-funded his education by taking tuitions. He initially joined a service company, struggled his way through there, kept on learning, and is now doing cutting-edge work at Amazon. What we have realized as a team at Scaler is that education done the right way, with the right stress on learning outcomes, is very, very powerful. And because we are committed to the mission, we have people who have left their respective jobs at Google Munich, Facebook in Menlo Park, Twitter in India, and like places all around the world to be here and be a part of the mission. In my last 7 years, I have noticed that people in India are very gritty and hardworking. If given the right guidance, if given the right guru, if given the right path, they can make magic happen. Learning is very important, and we are all at Scaler Academy committed to make learning happen at the highest quality. A lot of us have left our respective jobs at the Facebooks, Googles, Twitter, Amazon, etc. of the world to be here because we believe this is the most impactful mission we can be a part of. Our goal is to make sure we do this learning to millions of people here, which does not just impact those individuals, it impacts us as a nation. That is why we do what we do.
Cool. So, great. So, pretty sure now you people understood what Scaler's mission is. Obviously, you people are part of Scaler. So, before moving on to the next part, we'll do a small icebreaker activity. There's so many of us, and I don't think, other than me, a lot of you know each other, right? So, three things, very basic. Your name, what do you do, and what's your one superpower? Cool. So, I'll start. My name is Rohan. I work at Scaler, and my superpower is I'm jack of all trades, master of none. You give me anything, I'll do it. I'm not sure how I'll do it. Yeah. Great. So random, instead of me choosing, everyone one by one. Come on. Who do you
Who
start with?
want to go first?
Ajay.
भाई तुम ही पकड़ में आते हो.
नाम क्या करते हो और one superpower according to you.
Hi, I am Ajay Maurya. I am currently not working anywhere. My superpower is making memes.
Oh, by the way, he's one of
Meme
the-
king of Scaler.
Meme channel which has like 15,000 members.
Akash.
Next, one by one.
So I am Akash Singh. Currently, I am working as a software engineer, and my superpower is meme. As you all know, most of the people who are into it know me. Right?
Also just add
यार
one
तुम
more line,
अपना
what do you do in Scaler? Like, how are you associated with Scaler?
Okay. So
which batch maybe
I'm
which
from June batch. June 20.
of Scaler Academy?
Yeah. June 20.
And fun fact about Akash, how many followers do you have on your?
325.
He runs a Instagram page for programming memes, which have 330,000 followers. We have a celebrity here.
So after NAS,
After Nas, this is the guy.
yeah, moving on.
Hi guys, this is Tejasvi. I am working in Grow. I am a student here in Scaler in the October DSML batch. My one superpower I'd say is I'm good at communication and I gel along with people very well.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Ashwin. I'm part of July 21st.
तुम दोनों एक ही बैच में हो क्या?
I'm working as software engineer. Yeah. My superpower is I'm
अरे look at that expression, भाई.
calm and composed.
Nice.
Yeah, hi everyone, this is Vasudha. So I am Scaler Alumni. I am part of September 2019 batch. I work at Walmart now. My superpower is I play computer engineering.
Which is your favorite game?
I play Call of Duty.
This is Chandrakar Nethi. I am Scaler Alumni as well. I joined Scaler Academy back in December 2020. Now I'm working as a software developer at Swiggy. I don't think I don't have any.
So we are just random. What do you think?
No,
It can be. There are
Not discovered yet.
आपने अभी तक पहचानी नहीं है.
They already know it.
March 2022. I'm working on Upskill technology as a senior software engineer. My superpower is I'm a good problem solver.
Nice.
Subrat Mandal, and we are very student in Scaler. February batch, and my super core is nothing. Let's say like it's achieving management, solving problems, families, and it's superpower.
Like I'm sure everyone will come to you and ask you that teach me that superpower. Yeah.
That is a time for decision.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hi everyone. Debojit here. I'm from April 2019 batch.
Debojit is part of the very first batch of Scaler Academy. April 2019.
This building is named and currently I'm working at a startup called Upskill. So we are in the finance. And apart from like in terms of superpower, I think I can consume content at things.
सप्लायर उधर है और कंज्यूमर उधर है.
Hi guys, I am Shiva. I am SD1 at Express Bees. My superpower is अभी भी चाय पे चर्चा के लिए बुला लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. And I am from November 21st batch.
So you're saying you are the next Narendra Modi.
ScalerVerse से नरेंद्र मोदी भी निकलना है. Yes.
Hi, I'm Sachin. I work at Winco, software engineer. I'm from March 21 batch last year. Superpower, probably experimenting and scraping.
Experimenting with?
Anything.
I am getting a feeling that like there is an engineer of almost every single unicorn of Bangalore here.
Proper technique.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So my name is Manish. I'm a software engineer at Gartner. I joined Scaler at October 21 batch, and superpower is like I can sit at long hours on a chair for like 5-6 hours I can go. So I think that can be
I think almost every software engineer have that superpower. Warming the chair.
Moment we spoiled that. We had.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Naveen. I'm a SD1 at Ninja Car, and I'm from May 21 batch. And my superpower would be probably organizing things and keeping things straight.
Nice.
Nice.
Those three backbenchers, yeah. Louder. So all of us, please, for the live stream to catch all of our voices, let's be louder.
I'm Dheeraj from August batch. मेरे को नहीं सुन रहा. I'm Dheeraj from August batch. I'm student at Scaler. My superpowers are unfinished project about 20.
My name is Jagmeet and I am a student at Scaler, August 21 batch, and I am working at Walmart. So my superpower is just walking. I'm not tired of it.
I'm Dilip. I'm from August 21 batch. I work at Q2. Superpower, good listening. I can keep on listening to whatever you say.
You will be in demand.
So I'm head of engineering at Ali Startup, and here I am a mentor at Scaler. And my superpower is basically I can solve problems from the first principle.
What is your startup? What is the early stage startup?
Actually, we are currently in a pivot mode.
Okay.
Yeah. So earlier we were doing revenue-based financing.
Okay. No, what's the name? What's the name?
So it's a BANC, BANC, currently like YC batch.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Last batch.
Nice.
Had a good funding also. So, but we are like currently in stealth mode now.
Got it. Got it.
So just we are seeing like we are solving, not solving. We are seeing like doing user interviews, seeing what user are facing problem, what developers are facing problem, and trying to see that if we could solve that gap.
Got it.
I don't think people can see you people. You have to stand up when you talk. Yeah, this is a mic you have to hold while talking. No, live stream people won't. Get up.
यहाँ पे लोग इसलिए डर रहे हैं कि कंपनी वाले भी इस पे देख रहे हैं कुछ कंपनी चाहिए दोपहर में इसलिए एक बंदा नहीं है
Oh, interesting.
Is it audible?
हाँ थोड़ा सा loud है.
Stage.
I'm Mohit Yadav. I'm an alumni for Feb 20 batch. I'm currently working at TEDx, and superpower is to like solve problems like finding solutions and get us done.
Nice.
I joined the Scaler in April 2020, so I am an alumni. And even before Scaler, I am a part of interview bit as a campus ambassador. And after that, Scaler and now in ScalerVerse. It's first of all, I should thank the founders for building such a great company. Like so, many of the founders were there. Many of the entrepreneurs were coming in this tech world from 2020. So many unicorns were there. But these kind of entrepreneurs who build the community and this kind of tech would be helping a lot. And thanks for that. And that's it from my side. I don't have a good superpower, but I can say same like Rohan, jack of all, king of nothing.
Hey, hi everyone. I am Naveen Kumar. I joined Scaler last month. I am software engineer at Cognizant. My superpower is I can learn anything given the time. It's not that I can quickly learn, but I can learn anything. Right now, I am learning cooking because I am here alone, so I am doing my. So thanks.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Ravindra Kumar. I work as a software developer at a startup known as Sanketika Consulting, and I joined Scaler in this March 2020 intermediate batch. And I'd say my superpower is this time management and just give me food and laptop and I'll forget the world. Yeah, that's all.
Nice.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Pranshu. I'm currently at KPMG, and my superpower would be to mingle with people. Yeah, easily. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm from December 2021.
Yeah, hi everyone. This side Anurag Yadav. I am as a software engineer at MPL, and I joined Scaler Academy in 2019 as a teaching assistant. Currently here, and I'll join ScalerVerse.
So, we'll talk about all these facilities later.
And
so I'm sure teaching assistants are favorite of everyone here.
Yeah.
And my superpower is sleeping on bed.
I mean,
Yeah.
the TV should be worried, right?
Hi guys, I am Amit. I am mentor at Scaler, and I am working as a director of engineering in Connect and Heal. It's a healthcare startup, and my superpower is making connection and getting things done. And one more thing, we are hiring aggressively. So if you want to apply, please apply. Please connect with me.
Yeah, hi all. My name is Shreyas. I've just joined Scaler like 10 days ago. So this is the first time I'm actually interacting. I mean, I'm seeing such a good crowd for the for the learning thing. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually trying out of learning something new in my life, and I'm feeling absolutely good about it. So yeah, so the superpower of me is basically I'm a rider. I ride bike. I go on a long drive. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. And I work for DXC. Thank you. The DXC technology.
Hi all, my name is Shashank and I work at Infosys. I joined Scaler at December 21 batch, and I would say like my superpower is also like master of none and jack of all trades, right?
Hello all, this is Chaitanya. I was part of Scaler April 21 batch. So I recently joined Microsoft because of Scaler. So I've put in a lot of effort, and to motivate people like me, I joined back as a mentor. So I'm currently mentoring a few folks on Scaler as well. So my superpower is motivating people. So when I leave a company, all my team leaves. That's a joke, but yeah.
Hi, folks. Siddharth here. I am a mentor at Scaler. I work for Oracle, OCI, and one of my superpowers would be like problem solving and convincing people. That's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Atish. I joined Scaler on March this year.
Louder, louder.
Hi everyone, I'm Atish. I joined Scaler in March this year. So it's going good so far. I'm working with multi-robot coordination with Rapido Robotics. And my superpower is that I'm studying at Scaler.
Hi, my name is Kavi Rahul. I work for the company called Hubble.money, and my superpower is networking. I can communicate with anyone from anywhere.
Hi, my name is Harsha, and I'm working as a technical lead for Ecolab. And my superpower is I could drive for 20 long hours. Yeah. Car.
Driving car in Bangalore is a superpower.
Hi everyone, my name is Nishant Bhatnagar. I am working at First Hive. I joined Scaler on September 21, and my superpower is I can play cricket at any time. You can call me, I can play. Yeah.
Hello all, my name is Praneeth. I'm from April 2021 batch. I work for Zoom Cars as a software developer, and my superpower is that I have enough patience to drive a four-wheeler in Bangalore. That way I can commute all the way from Indranagar to ScalerVerse every day. But still I have enough patience and humanity. Done. We'll have alumni speaking to the alumni. This mic on? Alumni.
Sorry. I think Faisal is left, right?
Faisal and Vignesh.
Please.
So I'm Vignesh. I'm working as a software engineer in Incora, and from November 21 batch. And for superpower, I could say have a huge attention span. So, yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Faisal. I'm Faisal. I'm a software engineer. I'm from October batch. My superpower is I code.
Hey, hi guys. My name is Harshit, and I'm a software engineer in Impact Analytics. So I am basically from Dhanbad. If you have seen Gangs of Wasseypur, so that is my hometown. And my superpower is like I can interact with many people and make friends. That's it. Coal mafia.
I think done. Oh, the latest entry into the building. Nice. Please come to the center. Late.
Hi everyone. I am Arpit. I joined Scaler Academy back when it was Interview Bit Academy.
Yes.
The first batch.
I remember you.
Apparently text, yes. So Abhimanyu sir, he was my mentor, and
I was his mentor.
he used to like tell me to study. I was not into it back then. But my superpower is this: that I slowly realized that what he was saying was the truth, and I should start. And currently, I'm working at Scaler, so
All is well that ends well.
I remember our sessions where and he will have his shoes. No, good journey. Very, very proud.
Sorry. I think it's easy to say that this might be a power group in Bangalore. Like it's rare to have like such kind of people in a room. It's not just about where you all are today. Of course, many of you are at great places doing great things, but also I think that growth mindset. Like I think the most common thing that I feel that people who are part of Scaler is that they have awareness that I want to learn something, and they're willing to put a lot of hard work, effort to do that. And I think that's a lifelong thing. It's not just about doing this, doing your class, doing your assignments, but that mindset itself, position you to be able to do so much bigger things in life. And I think that the other part, which was still happening through the Slack channels and the the WhatsApp groups, etc. But I think being able to physically meet each other and network, and then there's a word called network effect, right? That when there is a group of people who come together, support each other in achieving things, like massive outcomes get derived out of it. I do hope that we are gonna have that happening here. It's very hard to imagine what might come out of it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. There might be unicorns being built by people sitting in this room as co-founders, or maybe even bigger things. But let's see. I think it's all in our hands collectively. Super.
Next part of the agenda after all of this. So we got to know, everyone got to know who is who, right? So now what we'll do is we'll call some alumni up and they'll go to the stage and they'll talk about their journey in tech and how Scaler impacted their journey in tech, right? Cool. So please, all the alumni, I think we'll call him. Amit, why don't you start? Sorry. So Scaler alumni. Yeah. How can I forget?
Any points that I should not miss? Shall I start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi, I am Manideep. I am a part of Scaler from April 2020. Like previously, I was working with a service company for almost 1.5 years or so. And later, while I am working for a service company, I joined Scaler because as I said before, when I am working with, when I am studying in my 4th year, I heard about Coders Bit. Back then, it was Interview Bit's coding challenge. So I am a campus ambassador of that. So later on, slowly they shifted to Scaler. I tried for the first batch itself, but I got rejected. And later on, for the second batch, I got selected. From there, what I actually love is the instructors and also my mentor. My mentor is really amazing. He works for a startup and later on he switched to a different company, and even that is also a startup. The kind of motivation he gave me and the support, not specifically with respect to the tech, mainly what I feel is personally, I am from a tier 3 college. So having background of tier 3 college, I need some mentor who have actually faced those all challenges, not a person who already got into an IIT and then joined Google. I want a person who started career from my background. So he is actually from who aligned my interest, and he helped me a lot personally and also technically. He guided through all these challenges. And my first jump itself is from a service-based company to a company like RCCM, sister company of Deisha.
and this happened because of him. And now I am working with SlicePay, and these are, of course, these are very good companies, but but behind it there is a lot of hard work. And with this hard work, not only the hard work, first of all we should know where we should put that hard work, and that the main points have been given by my mentor, and also the help from the Scaler, and that's the thanks for that. And this is my journey. Thank you so much. Any other alumni?
Hi everyone, this is Vasista. So I joined Scaler Academy in September 2019. So when I joined Scaler Academy, I was working with a service company, which is TCS. So I'm from Tier 3 college, and it was very difficult for me to get into product companies being from Tier 3 college. So I used to practice the problems on interview bit, and then there was an email which I have gone through, and that is about the Interview Bit Academy. So earlier it is Scaler Academy is called as Interview Bit Academy, and then I was very impressed about the curriculum and the structure, and also the period of time it was designed for. And then I decided to join. I gave attempt in the first time, and as Mani said, yeah, I also was not able to join the first batch itself, and then I gave it attempt again, and then I cleared second time, and then I joined in September 2019. So after graduation from Scaler Academy, I joined Lenskart as an SG2. So now I'm working at Walmart as an SG3. So it's been 3 years since I joined Scaler Academy. That's my story about it. Thank you.
Whoever will come.
Next. Alumni.
I'm not alumni. Chaitanya is not only an alumni, but is now a mentor as well.
Yes.
And, there is a very interesting journey that he has. So Chaitanya, maybe let's start with when did you join Scaler?
So actually, I was trying to get into that initial batch. So I tried around for 3 times. I couldn't get in. So, but I didn't lose hope. So I used to always go back to Lead Code and Geeks for Geeks, and again, I like whatever problems I couldn't solve, I used to go back and again practice those. So in the 4th batch or so, I got a call that I am selected. So there I joined. But there also, in 6 months, I gave up because I couldn't do it because of my work and so. So I gave up and I took a break of 3 months, and again I came back and joined one more fresh batch in April 21 batch. So at that point of time, I decided that this time I'll complete the course. So the issue which I used to face earlier was that I used to start a topic on Lead Code or some other coding site. So I used to get stuck at some point of time where I'm not able to proceed ahead. So there was no one to help me, or even if I reach out to my friends, they can't explain me the entire concept, like sitting for hours and resolving all my doubts. So the Scaler was a great help for me, where all the places where I used to get stuck in design or data structures, and all the applying companies, or where if I need to reach out to someone, how I'm supposed to do. So all that information I got through Scaler, and I spent around good enough of 6 and 7 months of time solving all the problems. So I solved around 95% of the problems which are on the Scaler. So I applied around 40 companies. So I got a call from 25, 26 of them. So all the interview questions which I faced, all of them were on Scaler. Most of them, like 90-95%, even if it was a new question. So I was very good at the concepts. So I solved even those. So Scaler, I realized that it helps you build the concepts. So many folks think that if you solve these good enough 50 or 100 problems, you are done. You will get a call and you can get through the interview. So it's not about that. So if you see through the program, all the classes go for 3 hours or 3.5 hours, sometimes 4 hours. So later, in 1 or 2 months, I realized that they are trying to build the concept. They are not just giving you the important problems. So I mostly concentrated on learning the concept. So whatever topics which I wasn't very comfortable, whether it's DP or graph, all the stuff now I am very comfortable with. So even if somebody gives me a problem, I can solve on it. I can understand which problem area this fits into. So this is at the high level of what I gone through at Scaler.
No, I think one point that you talked about, that it's not just about being able to clear the interview. It's important that you become a techie who would succeed at whatever you are asked to do. You know, who can build systems which are going to scale, right? And it's not just about getting into your dream company. You also have to be the top performer there, right? And I think when we design curriculum, and not just the classes, but the mentoring platform as well, right? It's important that like one learning I'll maybe share this, that before we started Scaler, back in 2018, we said that fine, there might be all the students at IIT Bombay or IIT Hyderabad preparing, learning coding on interview bit. But the fact is that fine, even if interview bit was not there, they would do something else, right? We kind of pulled out about 100 people who came from a non-district background. They might be studying in a college that no one have heard name of, or like might be working in a company like TCS, and then they were able to also get into a dream company, right? And then we said, let's ask these people, like, what is unique about them? Like no one, let's say someone who went to a college where no one in the history of time ever got a job offer paying them more than 4 lakhs, and this person suddenly have an offer from Uber paying him 40 lakhs. What was unique about it? And what we realized, this was something common across all of these. They would have an elder sibling. Someone would say that, I have a cousin sister, she works at Google and she keeps grading. Someone would say that, my elder brother's friend is connected with me. He keeps guiding me that, what I should be focusing on. Where if I'm stuck anywhere, this person will tell me that how to get involved. Now that mentorship creates so much difference. Because one, it's important to know what to do and what not to do, what to focus, what to worry about, what not to worry about. And hence, I think mentorship also creates that massive difference. Who's your mentor? How did your mentor?
So my mentor works for Adobe. So he has around 10 years of experience. So the one good thing which I did, like while selecting a mentor, I didn't look at the company in which he was working at. So I looked through his LinkedIn profile and saw if his journey is similar to me or not, like whether he has worked in companies like me previously or not. So he would be a better person to guide me. So if I directly pick someone who has gone like from tier 1 to a college to a tier 1 company, he might not be able to understand like what I am going through and what I am required to do. So one of the major criteria of me selecting a mentor was that, like, a profile similar to me. So he was a great help to me. Like I completed almost all my mentor sessions, and mock interviews were like great help to me. So by the time I went to my first interview, I cracked it.
And you mentioned that, one more thing that probably I'll emphasize on that, like what I have felt, and actually with myself as well, and with a lot of others as well, we often underestimate what we can do. And it's in different segments. It could be in terms of what impact you can create, what responsibilities you can take and deliver on them, and maybe even the earning capability, right? That how much will someone pay me? You just mentioned to me that you had an 8x salary change,
Almost,
which is insane, right? Like 8 times.
7x, 8.
7x maybe. I would, however, want to emphasize, and maybe if you can share a little bit about that, how have you seen your capabilities changing? Or let's say, what were the things that you were responsible for earlier? And at Microsoft, what are the things that you do? Now you feel that, I am doing this.
Okay. So like earlier, I used to be a part of a team. Like there, I used to be like an individual contributor. So I wasn't getting like to design stuff or to read through the architect diagrams, and I wasn't getting a chance to sit with the architects to like what are their design decisions, why are they making these kind of decisions. I used to get the final draft that this is the thing which you have to implement. So I never enjoyed that part of like directly implementing stuff. I want to understand why it has to be done in this way, why not the other way. So by the time the document comes to me, I don't have that chance to experiment. So here I will be getting that chance. So I'm in middle of it, so I'm enjoying that stuff.
Maybe one more thing, because you have been through the entire journey, and there are many here who might be some starting, some might be in the middle of it, some might be in the later phase of it. What were your worries, questions, or difficulties that you faced in the beginning or in between, and how did you kind of go about that?
So like
what would be your advice to people
Sure.
who are starting?
So one advice would be that never give up. Like, so even if you are not able to solve the problem, try for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and leave it. Like whatever you have written on the paper or somewhere the notepad, just leave the problem and go to some other problem and try to solve it. So later you come back in the evening or the next day and again see like till what phase you have solved it, and again think through and what else I can do. The learning comes from what even I have realized, that learning comes through brainstorming. So if you don't do the brainstorming, if you are just going to a lead code solution tab or a Geeks for Geeks and just trying to look up the problem, you will never learn. You will like forget the second day itself. So until and unless you are yourself brainstorming the problem, and even if you are not able to solve it, that's fine. If you are even able to solve it like 60, 70, 80% of it, you can go to a TA and understand the rest of the part. So the first effort you have to put through is you have to solve the problem on your own until and unless like you feel that I am done enough. And after that you can reach out to the folks, either to your peers who are in your group or to a TA. So first learning which I got is that you shouldn't give up until you brainstorm the entire part. So that was the major learning.
I think very similar to the gym example that I often keep taking. That you cannot go to a gym and leave the responsibility of getting the six pack to the trainer. That doesn't work. You have to kind of push yourself. You have to push your own brain to kind of have that intellectual depth. Push yourself for that rigor. Only then I think your problem solving ability is your design ability.
So few more learnings which I would like to add is that like when I interacted with the people in around like my community and my friends from other companies, they like most of the people speak of the numbers, like this guy is getting this much, this guy is getting this much, we should change the company and we should try for this. So whenever you feel like your learning has stopped, and then you should think of it. Never like think in terms of like money. So money, like you will lose the value at some point of time in your life. So money would not be a perspective. Maybe in the starting itself it could be. It seems very attractive that this company is offering this much. So even when I had many offers, I was like I decided based on the like if I go into this company, what will I get to learn? So if I move ahead in this company for next 5 years or 6 years or a greater period of time, what will my profile look like? So that was my like filtering criteria, not on the basis of the compensation. So it would like people who are sitting here who are like students right now, you will also face this situation. Like when you share an offer letter of one company to the other company, they'll just bump it up by 10 or 20%. So always look for the learning part, because that would help you grow. So that like one of this part came to me from Abhimanyu and Anshuman's like interaction session, where they were explaining that like how should you choose a company and which path you should go. So this was the other major learning which I had, and it helped me at the end like to filter out the company which I want to join.
I think as I put it, that your career planning is more of a dynamic programming problem. You cannot apply greedy to it. You have to think long term, right? That are these steps going to really help me long term? And if I just greedily pick, whoever is paying the max, you might end up picking something which might be paying you slightly higher right now, but it might actually massively negatively impact your long term. But if you optimize for the learning, that where are you going to? First, of course, people. That who are the people that you are going to be surrounded by? Can you learn a lot from them? What are the kind of challenges that you will be, getting to solve? And are they challenging enough? Are they interesting enough? And if you optimize for that, automatically in the long term, you like money is a side effect of doing impactful things. That will get created automatically. But if you are not doing impactful things, if you are not becoming more capable, sooner or later it will flat out. Because you cannot keep earning more money without being more capable.
Okay, so the other major learning is that like I initially thought that like these are some topics which I need to practice. So I used to like randomly pick sometime linked list, sometime trees, and sometime I go back and solve arrays. But when I started randomly picking the problems, then I realized that this curriculum has been set in particular way. So if I'm not solving that in that way, if I'm picking randomly, I would never be able to solve all the problems. So I went back and restarted all the problems again from the starting. So once I got like how the recursion problems are solved, entire curriculum was easy for me. From trees, DP, graph, everything became very easy. So if somebody is a student here, so I would advise that you follow the path which has been already set. So that has been already tested, and like if you solve in that path, you will be able to solve all the problems. So these are the major learnings.
Thank you so much, Chaitanya. I'm sure that very interesting. Amit, can we host you? Because as a mentor perspective, maybe you can share that, what are the things that you have seen with your mentees. Maybe you can first introduce yourself.
Yeah. So guys, I'm Amit. I joined Scaler 2 years back as a mentor, and currently I'm working as a director of engineering with Connect and Heal. It's an HSR layout healthcare company.
And they are hiring.
Yeah.
Before this goes any further, Amit is very interested to stay in this property, but he finds the room slightly smaller. Okay. So if you all can convince Amit to stay here, then maybe all of us can get hired there.
So I wanted to come to this property to hire candidates. So yeah.
Now it's the other way around.
Yeah. So we can start.
Yeah, so maybe let's talk about, maybe if you can share with us some very interesting journeys of your mentees, which made you feel proud. Like Arpit, like talking to Arpit, I feel that wow, like he has come a long way. If you can share something about that.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So I have many mentees till now, and whatever good mentees I found, I hired them.
Now I realize, why people are wanting to become mentors actually.
So I have very good mentees, and I have mentees from background who are in sales, marketing, and housewives. So it's quite challenging to mentor those candidates and motivate them to onboard. And sometimes I have to also make sure they want to be onboarded on the Scaler channel before they come up. What they are wanting, are they really wanting to do what they're thinking to do? Because the mentor have very good marketing team on YouTube. They have very good ads which shows like theme of money heist. They steal the they steal the software developers. So it's very tempting to people, but then it's a lot of hard work which one has to go through on the journey of 9 months. So
I think goal setting to begin with is very important.
Yeah.
What is the goal you should be setting?
Yeah. So I mean, it's very dynamic because it depends on person to person where they are starting their journey. And so I'll start with one of my mentee. He's having quite a good experience, like 8-9 years of experience. He keep learning things. He onboarded to Scaler, and he was facing a lot of problem with DS algos. So and he was running behind the schedule. So got into kind of a depressive mode, how to catch up, and a lot of pressure, and should I take a break, and how to ramp up. So it's require a lot of understanding what's going in within the candidates, what's the going into the deep down, what's the problem he's facing. It's a family problem or some pressure, because it's not only the program he's having troubles, it's like personal life. So we have to go through those areas also, to troubleshoot how they are able to manage or not. So mentorship is not only mentoring on coding or skill related stuff. It's much more. It's like everything. It's like being a guru on Scaler. So in this case, the mentee who is facing the problem, he's having like only 20% course problem solved till like 3-4 of months of the course. So I suggested him take a pause for 15 days or some 1 month, and came up with the solution. I mean compete with the course and come to the speed. But the only thing I felt like once he take the break, he might get off route, because he's leaving he's not able to touch base with the skiller candidates and not able to come up, because I have seen in the past that people, when they offload, they lose the track. So but then I make myself as available to them on WhatsApp. I'm like I share my number, and I make sure I also follow up offline. It's not only the skiller schedule I have to take to 2 or 3 session in a month. So I try to follow up every weekends. I keep in my calendar mark. I try to follow up what's going on and what's. Sometimes I when they are very weak, when they are not able to solve and not able to move further. I sit down with them. I share the screen. I ask them to code right now, because they need some push to start sometimes. So I go to that level sometimes with the candidates and mentees. So it's really helped. And uh, uh,
Who
goals.
was the mentee who you feel most proud of? The transition, the delta, learning delta, capability delta was massive.
Okay. So the mentee I feel proud is Aniket Gupta, and he has taken some, some kind of uh, sessions also on Scalar later. So I was telling out the mentee, he was not able to
Oh, wow.
Scalar.
Okay.
So later he came and took the sessions. I think there's some peer sessions which happens.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
community sessions.
community sessions. Yeah. So he took the community and people have started following him later. Yeah. So this is how I feel I am taking the mentorship session, and no doubt I feel a lot of challenges, and I have sometimes I get stuck with the situation where I don't know how to deal with it, but then I have to churn around, talk to other mentors how they are dealing with it. So somehow I try to solve it.
Thank you so much, Amit, for being a mentor, helping your mentees transition their career. What next? Anyone else who?
One question I had. So, well, not in general for mentors or educators in tech. So I'm not from tech, but in general. So how does working or staying together, like in a hostel, right? How tough is it to learn some things when you are alone, like working somewhere, or you don't have a lot of peers with you? Or how tough or easy is it when, let's say, in a ScalerVerse community or in a community where you have folks going through the same journey yourself? So what is the basic difference in both?
But you won't believe, 2 year back I was thinking there has to be something where candidate coming and living together, and I should discuss with mentors, can we get some property. It's not only for engineering where there is energy in the group, they have the same goal to do things this way. I was having this troubleshoot in my mind. I never thought the skill will come up with the same idea. And second thing, what you said, the energy. So if we have other coaching Kota is famous for IIT coaching, and there are Bansal classes, Maheshri, and so many other, not Maheshri. Yeah. So yeah. So there is an environment effect, but I'm not saying this is the only environment which can lead. There are people who can they can close themselves in one room and they can do a lot more. So, and probably there are people, they might not need mentor or the course, they can just go through the books. So we can't generalize, but there is I think there is a lot many people who need the environment and the energy, and because they need the enthu and the crowd and the competitions and the spirit which come in this environment, which is and nowadays very good thing happening. We are not selfish that okay, let me code it, I won't share this, I'll not share this, because we are having an open community. We are going to help everyone in the environment, and it's really working out. And so my idea is it's really good to come up with this idea of learning and working together towards the same goal.
I have a very interesting thing to share on this. So, how did this, very seed of idea that we should build something like ScalerVerse come about? So, this is what is it? This 29th November 2021. Someone on Twitter sent me a message, and this person who sent me the message is he's just a third year student in some college, and I'll read out his message. Hi Abhimanyu, what are your plans about? Are you making any offline community in each city where people from that city can live or meet at that place? Problem: lot of people do not live in hostel because tier 3 colleges don't even provide it. Private hostels and flats are very hard to find. So if you make a place, maybe you can tie up with Zolo or OYO hostel so that your community learners who are living in that location can They can just live there. Productivity will go so high along with the online education. Thank you for reading. This was the seed of the idea. And then I just told him that that's a fantastic idea. I'll definitely, I'll explore the feasibility of doing this. And he responded that, yes, sir, I want to be first user of that. If that happens, I'll definitely leave my college. And I'll send him.
Send him the website link.
I'll send him the photo, yeah. I'll click a photo and send this to him. It's crazy, how amazing ideas can come from anywhere, right? So, super. Thank you so much, Amit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Abhimanyu, we also have Alo. So like we are speaking to mentors, alumni. We'll have instructors also.
Super. How many of you, is there anyone who have attended a class of Alo?
I don't think so.
Okay. Which all batches have you taken?
I started in April only. Okay. I have to hold it.
That's on mine, but we can
There's another one.
You take that one.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'll just put it here.
So which all batches have you taught?
April 22. Like
April
the
22.
yeah. So I'll be starting the same. For the same batch, I'll be starting the advanced batch.
Got it.
I asked my students if someone is going to attend or not, but they were like, yeah, no, we're not. But yeah, I was looking forward to meeting them. Yeah. So anyone who is like new or something, or
No, I
any
think-
questions?
Yeah, probably.
Anyone who's going to join the advanced batch starting on 27 June? Anyone?
No, I think most of the people here are a little older.
Okay.
Because actually, we had not opened it Scaler waitlist for the new batches because there was massive demand from the older batches itself.
Oh, okay.
So they might not be here. That being said, why do you teach? And like, give us a little bit of background. Where do you come from? What do you do?
Sure. So I graduated in 2019, right, with my bachelor's and started working at Samsung Research. I worked there for some time, and then I moved to working at Razorpay, where I work as a backend engineer. And a lot of people ask me like, why do you move to like from Samsung to Razorpay? So pretty much it was because I was very much excited about scalable systems and how do distributed systems work, and I was not getting that kind of like projects at Samsung, right? So I wanted to explore that field. And I started teaching, like it's been 2 years. I was earlier a mentor at Scaler, right? And then I started like, okay, I could do it more because this helps students, right? And it gives me a lot of like, it gives me a lot of good feeling when someone is helped from what my knowledge is, right? If I can share my knowledge and it helps others, right? So that's the basic idea behind it, right? And you get a lot of gratitude from students, and it's just a great feeling, I would say, right? When students tell you that, sir, you told this thing and this has helped us, which is something very, very small for us, but it helps them brilliantly. Like even just looking at through the resume once and telling, okay, just improve this small thing, and that just helps them a lot, right?
I'll add one more thing which I felt while teaching. That they say that if you cannot explain something to a 5-year-old, probably you don't understand it well enough yourself.
Yeah.
And there's also this Feynman technique of learning, that if you really want to build strong command on something, the best way to do that is teach. Because
True.
when you teach, when you explain it to someone else, you yourself understand more depth of that concept. Because you cannot teach
100%.
well unless you have understood it well.
Exactly. Yeah, looking
So
at
it's in a
from
way, when someone is teaching, it's not only the learners who are gaining from it. Even the
Yeah.
teacher is getting a lot from the
Definitely.
students, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is also a very rewarding experience.
True.
One more thing that, even when we started out the first batch, April 2019, Devojit was part of that. One thing that we committed to ourselves that, if we are trying to fix the tech education, which is massively broken, and one of the hypotheses that why it is broken is because traditionally in our education system, higher education system, colleges, etc., people who are teaching, they're not bad people. Not that they're not smart either, but they're not practitioners.
True.
Let's say if I compare with a medical field, if there was a surgeon who comes and tells that I'm going to do your surgery, but throughout my coursework of becoming a surgeon, I have never done a surgery, and people who taught me have also never done a surgery. Like, I'm sure you will get out of the operation theater. Like, no, dude, I'm not gonna let you cut my body. And unfortunately, in engineering, in technology, that is what has happened. People who are teaching have never been in industry themselves.
Yes.
Right? And hence, it is very important to fix that again. Right? Now, let's say when you are working at Razorpay,
Mm-hmm.
Razorpay probably is one of the startup which probably would have highest scale in India.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the QPS or request
Yeah,
per minute
yeah.
might be, but I'm sure it will be pretty big number.
Pretty big, yeah.
The number of transactions happening every single day,
Mhm.
probably easily some 70-80% of the transactions throughout in the volume might be coming to
Definitely,
Razorpay,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And when working that system, which can, and it's also like there cannot be any bug, right? It has to be, like, otherwise money will be lost. Real
Yeah,
money
exactly, exactly.
will be lost. When you are building that, and then you are also teaching people that how to build scalable systems.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is how engineering education is supposed to be. So,
Sure.
for example, when Anshuman teaches and tells people about that, how would you build backend for something like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger,
Mm-hmm.
he has built it himself.
Exactly.
How
Exactly.
would you handle scale where there are maybe 10 billion messages being sent every day?
Yep, yep.
Right? Or how would you build a system which can handle probably millions of cash transactions in a day at Razorpay?
Exactly, exactly, yeah.
So, let me ask you that how do you make sure that when you are teaching,
Mm-hmm.
it's not becoming too theoretical?
Mm-hmm.
It remains practical. How do you ensure that?
So adding few examples which students relate to as well, right? Like let's say I'm teaching let's say trees, right? Something like that, a very very small topic, right? If I can introduce a very very small topic or any real world application of it, that also engages students a lot, right? They start saying, okay, this is where this is applied, because we feel something is very very important when we can relate to, okay, there's a use case related to it, it has some real world application as well, right? That is something that is very important. Plus I also believe that understanding what I mean, there's a story thing, right? I feel like when you teach and say it like a story, that okay, and later on all the pieces connect, that is such a good feeling now when you relate, oh, sir had taught this last week and now it's relating and all the pieces are I'm able to join all the dots, right? That is something which is a very very good feeling, which I think a lot of students get when we teach, right? The content is so good, right? So that is something I feel like which adds like that uh, X factor to the content and the teaching as well. So that's
So I think super important. The tree example is very apt as well. That while often it's hard to relate that why am I learning trees? Like there is this famous thing that companies ask invert the binary tree in the interview.
So many
and
memes around it.
Why the hell do I need to learn that? But I think what people are miss, and that's not their fault because they never taught that.
Mm.
That's something when you, let's say something as simple as when you open a website and whatever you see on the website, behind the door it's a HTML DOM tree,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And like
DOM.
if you want to even just build efficient website, you might have to do tree traversal and operations on the tree.
Yeah.
And that is why you must learn tree.
Mm.
The point is that this entire connection gets missing. You will say, okay, go learn tree. And then of course I cannot build interest in that. Why the hell should I learn?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something very basic, broken even in our school education, college education, all of it. That when we learn differentiation and integration in school, we never knew where is it used. Why am I learning it? It was more of the exam mega, let's learn it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think fixing that can only happen when it's the practitioners work.
Exactly. That
you
is.
use it day in day out.
Mm-hmm.
Tell that this is where it is used in the real world. If you don't learn it, you will not be able to do it, and hence you have to learn.
Yeah. Yep.
Super. Thank you so much.
Yeah. This. Do connect with me if anyone wants to. Right. I'll be happy to help if anyone needs any help. And yeah, this was great.
You
Yeah.
stay nearby?
Yeah. I stay in HSR only. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Dropping around?
Yeah. I visited the office also multiple times. I met you in the office as well. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you everyone. Yeah.
Rohan, what next?
I think food is there, so I don't.
Yes, I'm hungry.
I won't make people stay for a while. Just two more announcements. So basically, for all, this is only exclusive for ScalerVerse residents, right? Two things. So we have Anurag here. He is a TA. So starting from I think next to next week or mid of next week, we'll have Anurag in this property for 3 hours, thrice a week, right? thrice a week. I think Monday, or we'll fix timings. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday, whatever works for Anurag. So we'll have him specifically for you folks in this property. He'll be coming here, he'll be sitting in the co-working space, and it's open for all of you to go and ask all your doubts. So I am no, some people might have problems कि मुझे नेट में इसको ढूंढना पड़ता है, इसको ढूंढना पड़ता है, इसको ढूंढना पड़ता है. That won't happen now. अनुराग है तुम लोग का साथी, अनुराग है तुम लोग का सब कुछ. So please, whatever problems you have, go to Anurag, and he will help, try to help you.
How many of you have said in the past TA नहीं मिल रहा? Raise your hand. यहाँ पे वो हो ही नहीं सकता. बंदा बैठा पकड़ लो. Can't run away.
Great. So second announcement, I think Abhimanyu mentioned partly what this was going to be, but I'll just formulate it finally. So 1st of July, what we are trying to make is, so as simple as that. I think what Abhimanyu has told and what we have listened, Amit speaking and everyone else speaking, right? Community aspect has to come from within the community. It's not like we cannot host events like this every weekend, right? It has to come from people who are living in this community, which is all of you, right? To help that, to formulate that, what we'll do is we'll obviously finalize a name, but we are sort of making a resident welfare association, right? Like all these apartments, like everyone who lives in an apartment will know that there's a resident welfare association, right? What is the aim of that? The aim of that is to ensure there is proper functioning of the building, of the society, and to obviously make sure all people are living in harmony, right? What do I mean by all of that? As simple as that, on 1st of July, when most of you will have moved in, we'll have a small election, right? Any one of you can stand for president. Any one of you can stand for president. We'll give you 2 or 3 days time to go and do all
campaign.
this, all campaigns and all, right? Yeah, we are already seeing leaders emerge, right? So we'll have a proper resident welfare association. We'll have a proper election on one of the Sundays, which is I think 4th of July or something like that. We'll have a proper election. So we'll have one president being elected for 3 months. So the term will be 3 months, right? One president after a round of voting will be elected for 3 months. And like Abhimanyu mentioned, I am pretty sure all of you remember that you would have given $500 for joining the waitlist of ScalerVerse, right? So imagine this is 50 people. So that's 25,000 rupees for you. So basically the president in decision, in accordance with all of the other people, can decide on what to do with that amount of money. So like some of you would have mentioned to me before, why can't we have a gym upstairs? So bhai, tumhare paas paisa hai. Decide. If all of you are in unison, buy some equipments and keep it on the top. Who is stopping you? If you want more games, you want more beanbags, you want a TT table, or you want something else, you want to go on a hike together, right? It's up to the community to decide together, and the president's responsibility is to ensure he takes everyone's decision, and then you people can start doing whatever you want. Scaler will always be a part of it, but we would love for you to start initiating and start doing all of this on your own, right? Abhimanyu, any
I think one
last words on that?
The biggest benefit I see is that like all the apartment complexes have this committee, right? And instead of the old uncles deciding the rules, finally it can be you that what should be the rules. So I think that might be one of the biggest respite, that finally out of the clutches of old uncles.
The best part would be no one would say bachelors are not allowed.
Yeah, bachelors are not allowed. So,
yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
We need you.
Super. Yes.
So I have a question on one.
Yeah, this is Q&A now.
So what's the plan for future versus coming across? And
Yeah, so
what is the-
basically-
and I also want to know what is the effort you have put in for this property.
So as in, so we are lucky to have Samarth and Udbhav and Shashwat there. So Samarth is a co-founder of the company Hyphen. I am pretty sure all of you would have heard the name of Hyphen, right? So Samarth is the co-founder of Hyphen, and Udbhav and Shashwat are a part of founding team of Hyphen. So we have tied up with them for this property. We are looking forward to tying up with this for them with multiple properties. We are also looking at tying up with different partners. So next properties are coming up in Bengaluru. Give me a couple of more days to figure out, to finalize and finally tell you what is the date and when is that property all coming up. Post that, the idea is to at least have multiple properties like these in multiple areas, so that none of you would ever have a distance problem in choosing a ScalerVerse property, right? So, and we also want to be in multiple cities, like all the tech hubs, Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore. So the idea is to at least house as many of you who are willing to stay in a ScalerVerse property. For us, it is a huge responsibility to make sure that access should be given to you people, so that you have an access to stay in these properties, and that's the whole target of ScalerVerse.
So even if you are changing city, even if you are changing company, moving to a new city, most likely 6 months down the line, you will not have to be bothered about finding the house. You can just move from one ScalerVerse to another one. Super. Let's eat food.
Yeah.
How many of you are question? Yes. No question. Food. Food is the answer.
His question, no. His question was different related to food.
Where is food?
Cool. Hello, thank you everyone. Thank you.